And we would like to show you some clips. Some of them might be difficult. Is that okay?
Yes. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear the 911 call. And my mom screaming for her life.
What is going on?
I thought of Sabrina as a big sister. And what she did, what goes through my mind, what I think about her now, she's a cold-blooded killer that thought she would get away with murder.
I turned on the TV on the news. As soon as I turned it on, there was a picture of Lisa, a picture of Sabrina, and it said foster mother murdered by foster child. It was shocking. It was just unbelievable. I didn't want to believe it. And that's where I grabbed my phone and called Kevin. Because at that time, I never thought he had anything to do with it. But then you see him sitting in the courtroom when all this was going down. He just had no reactions to anything. And for someone to have no reactions whatsoever, never to show any sort of remorse about the death of your wife and what actually happened, it's just, if I had to choose the one word, it'd be soulless. I remember this picture. This was actually, this was the day after, this is the day after my wedding day. Kevin was one of the first people there and spent pretty much the entire day with me, and just, it was wonderful just having him there as a support and as my brother. Kevin and I both worked for a private ambulance company as partners working 24-hour shifts, and we got very close. He had this wonderfulness that just drew people to him. He was very open, outgoing, easy to get along with. It wasn't even like he really had to do anything. We just meshed, and it just was like he became my older brother. I mean, I looked up to the guy. It's a tough one to see because I miss him. Right off the bat, he knew this was going to be the one. This is the girl that he wanted to marry. I mean, it was just nice seeing him finally find somebody that made him happy. Their wedding was wonderful, and he just embraced her daughter, Megan, like it was his own daughter. And they were to that point with all the love that they had, they were able to have their own child together. And then it just became like one big happy family. Eventually, Lisa had introduced the idea to Kevin about them taking in foster children. And Kevin was all for it. They wanted to be able to bring these kids in to give them some place safe to be. Kevin said they were looking at fostering a new child, said her name was Sabrina, said she was older, teenage. I wish I would have seen the signs of problems earlier and I could have addressed the signs earlier, but there's nothing I can actually do about it. It's all in the past.
This is a picture of my mom wedding dress shopping. It was exciting to go shopping with her and for me to be there with her to pick out her wedding dress. When my mom introduced me to Kevin when I was 5, seemed like a nice guy. I was happy that she met someone, so yeah. When Kevin and my mom first got married, it was the honeymoon phase for a while. Everything was good. She finally found someone she's gonna spend the rest of her life with. And I was a flower girl in the wedding. I was excited. I was very excited. My childhood was amazing. I was the happiest kid, spending it with my mom every day. She was my best friend. Kevin and my mom were affectionate. It was a picture-perfect family that got destroyed very quickly. This photo is of me and Sabrina hugging. We were always doing each other's hair, like sister stuff. We would hang out a lot, do stuff together. Sabrina told me that she was happy to finally have a loving family and a home to be in. I called Sabrina Bree. I was excited because it was like I would have an older sister that I never had. My mom made her feel very welcome. Everyone was happy. And now all the good stuff is gone. I can't stand looking at photos of her. I can't stand hearing her name, anything about her. Can't stand it. Sabrina and my mom started to have a lot of tension. One day there was an incident with an iPad. Bree had the iPad, and I wanted it. And my mom went up there to get it from her. And then Bree said that my mom hit her. My mom never laid hands on her. I was standing right there. She called the cops. Cops show up.
I would never put my hands on any child.
They asked if my mom hit her, and my mom said no. I said no. And then they left. But after they left, Kevin put his arm around her, which I thought was really weird. That wasn't just comforting your kid. It was at the point where Kevin would stick up for Bree no matter what, and not my mom. So it was always my mom's fault. And my mom felt like Kevin never had her back anymore. It would make my mom feel unsettled. Like, why are you taking her side when I'm your wife? There's one incident where my mom and I were gone for several hours. We came back. She was with Kevin alone in a sports bra. I thought it was very odd, and so did my mom. My mom thought it was odd because you shouldn't be in a sports bra around your father figure. And Kevin stuck up for her, and my mom told Kevin, I think it's time for Bree to go. Kevin didn't like that. I agreed with my mom. She needed to go. She was causing more problems than good. It didn't sit well with Kevin or Bree, obviously. Never in a million years did I think that what happened would happen.
Kevin reached out and asked if we wanted to join him and Lisa at their campsite, myself, my wife, and our 3 kids. And it was wonderful. All the kids were having a blast and just getting to play and interact with each other. But Kevin and Lisa on that trip didn't seem their usual fun-loving selves. There seemed to be something off between them. Kevin and I went off on our own, and I think I had said something in regards to, like, is everything okay? Is there something going on? And he said, well, I gotta tell you, he goes, Lisa has stated to me that she feels that there is something inappropriate going on between myself and Sabrina. Lisa thought that he was pretty much having an affair with Sabrina behind her back. And I pretty much laughed at it. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, why is she even thinking something like that? And I even asked him if he wanted me to go and say something to Lisa to reassure her that there was nothing going on between him. And he just asked me to let it go, keep it between us for now, because he didn't want it to create any additional issues or make it uncomfortable during the rest of the trip. So it was just one of those, I just let it go at that point, and it wasn't brought up again while we were out on the trip. Later on in that evening, Kevin and I were outside building a fire, getting things ready for the kids to roast marshmallows and stuff. And Kevin pulled up the waistband of his underwear, and he told me, he said, Sabrina got me these underwear. She said that somebody told her that they were comfortable. I found it weird, and I was like dumbfounded. A foster child wanting to buy, or any child wanting to buy their dad or foster parent a gift that intimate. I didn't know totally how to respond to it, so I just let it go and didn't really think much more about it at that point in time. It was the next morning. Kevin and I were up and we were preparing breakfast for everybody. And Kevin, he goes, let me show you these. He goes, one of the things Sabrina said she wanted to start doing was she wanted to start modeling. He goes, so I started taking some pictures of her to get her like headshots and pictures for modeling. And he pulled up his phone and started flipping through pictures of Sabrina. It was weird to see these types of pictures, almost like he had like with her being so young, but almost like a seductive sort of poses and stuff. It caught me off guard. I'm thinking it's just weird. But I'm like, maybe this isn't anything big. Maybe it's nothing to be concerned about. He was wonderful with children, always wanted to make kids happy. And up until that point, I never saw anything that I thought was irregular or out of the ordinary with him. And it was just one of those that I pushed to the back of my head and just tried to move on to something else and forget about it at the time. I see all the moments totally different now. After what has happened, I mean, all it is I think about everything, and I go back to that trip all the time because I know it's nothing that I did, but I beat myself up daily, and I don't talk about it with people, that I should have looked at things differently when he was telling me that.
So before Kevin left for work the night of the 15th, Bree and Kevin were whispering to each other. It was very odd, but we didn't know what they were saying to each other. I went to sleep around 9. Bree's room was right next to mine. Her phone was blowing up. Text message after text message, and I could hear her receiving the text message. I went in her room and asked her what's going on, and she said nothing. I never heard her phone go off like that before. There were so many text messages it woke me up, but I didn't think anything of it. And then I went to sleep. The morning of November 16th, I heard the dog barking loud and my mom screaming. So I run downstairs, walk in my mom's room, see things knocked over, and Bree stabbing my mom to death. I tried to get her to stop, but then she threatened to stab me. Her face seemed very angry and determined to get the job done. So I backed off and I called 911.
Where's your sister at? Where's your sister? Knock it off! Where is your sister? Quick! Well, I got everyone coming to you, honey.
This is a photo of the front of the house in Willoughby Hills. Every time I see a picture of the house, it reminds me of the morning my mom died. Flashbacks. Willoughby Hills, please show up. I ran outside, telling them to hurry up. My feet were covered in blood as I ran down the driveway. They pointed a gun at me because they thought it was me. I yelled, "It's not me, she's inside." Sabrina stabbed my mom 178 times. I knew it was bad, and my mom wasn't gonna come out of it alive. I knew that. Me, Kevin, and my dad were in a room, and they said my mom passed away. Kevin showed no emotion whatsoever. No crying, no saying anything, just blank. And asking where was Bree and trying to see her, which people thought was very odd, very weird. This person just killed your wife. Why are you going to see her? Trying to see her.
He kept talking about Sabrina, saying he just wanted to make sure she was okay. You know, like, that's weird that you want to see her, Kevin. This is the girl that just killed your wife, and why are you so concerned about how she is? I'm starting to see stuff that doesn't seem to be right. He told the officer who he was and told him that he was there to see Sabrina Zunich. The officers advised him at that time that she had no visitation time left. Kevin got upset, got a little loud, got a little angry, said he needed to see her. I had to pretty much pull him back and settle him down because I was worried he was going to get arrested for acting out in a place like this and yelling and having a fit. So I got him to settle down. He then said, "Okay, can you give her this message?" So he took a piece of paper out that was folded up. He slid it to the officer. The officer took the note, said, "No, we cannot give this to her. We're not allowed to give any notes or anything to her." And he goes, "I can't do this." And he passed it back to Kevin. And then we left. Right there in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, that's not going to look good with anybody. Whew. These are pictures of Kevin and Lisa's room where the murder took place, after the murder took place. Whew. Those are pictures that I don't need to look at because I see them every day in my head. From when I walked into that room and saw that. Oh. All I see in those pictures when I look at those pictures are what Lisa went through. The suffering she had to went through, the pain to wake up and have somebody on top of you stabbing you. And then I remember blood all over the mattress. It was all over the floors in those pictures. I have to remember that from then. It's just, that is horrific, something I'm never gonna forget. I've seen things like this on TV shows, but to walk in and to actually see this was just, it was unreal. You start thinking, like, how could this have happened?
What do you recall?
Yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Would anything unusual happen?
I don't know.
came to the house, you had the knife in your hand.
Are you sure it wasn't self-defense? I don't remember.
Mm-hmm. The 2 police officers there saw you with the knife and ordered you to drop it.
Did I?
She doesn't remember anything. That could be. But she knew what she was doing.
Does it make you angry to see her and hear her try and say, oh, are you sure it wasn't self-defense?
Idiot. That's what I think. Because it wasn't. And I know that. My mom was fighting for her life.
Recall coming out of the bedroom with a knife in your hand?
No.
But you had a knife. You stabbed Lisa.
I did.
Yes, you did. And Megan called the police.
That can't be true.
Bree, it is. I'm sorry.
I've never been a murderer.
There's no way she didn't know what she was doing. Sabrina, for the longest time, said it was just like everything went blank and she just went in there and she went into this rage and started doing this. But then I found out later that their youngest daughter was in that room and then ended up being in the closet. So Sabrina had to have gone in there, taken the youngest daughter and placed her in the closet first, and then go back and do what she did. That's not somebody that blacks out and doesn't remember exactly what they're doing.
There were over 900 people at my mom's funeral, and they were hugging me. Half the people I didn't even know. The fact that my mom had an impact on that many people made me happy. Kevin's demeanor at the funeral, no emotion, none. I remember sitting next to a family friend in the front, and Kevin getting up to speak and saying, "Pray for Sabrina," which was really odd. Everyone raised their eyebrow about that one. She just killed your wife.
I was informed by some people that were directly involved with the case and everything that Kevin, that morning, he had already contacted Lisa's job and was inquiring in regards to her life insurance policies that she had and survivor benefits. It's like, who does that kind of thing? I don't think I could have comprehended to do anything like that. That would not have been a first call. And that, when you're hearing that, it's like, why? And then I found out that there was an investigation by the high school in regards to noted inappropriate behavior between him and Sabrina when he would come pick Sabrina up from school. At that point, I knew the detectives were actually looking into him. So I decided to go to the Willoughby Hills Police Department myself and speak to one of the detectives on the case.
Were you and Lisa in the process of going through a divorce?
Okay, now we're getting outside the scope.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to talk to us about any of the situations that led up to what happened? I talked to Detective Parmenter. He said he wanted to interview him about work, which, I thought was probably a pretext.
Okay.
But, everybody knows where she worked.
Well, we never got to talk at length about
There's a sequence of events and what happened, and that's what we're just trying to talk about.
His wife was brutally murdered here, and we're trying to help him, help us. He can help us in the investigation.
But, we're not going to get into, the relationship between Kevin and Lisa. It's just, you got a bloody girl with a bloody knife
You know what, I apologize for wasting your time then, because...
Well, how about your relationship with any of the other children in the household? I mean, how about your relationship with Sabrina?
No.
Kevin?
No.
In this video, it was the same lack of expression that it's been all along. No emotion, straight face. He didn't say a word. The fact that you showed up to the police station with a lawyer in the first place, that's a red flag in itself. He has done something wrong. He's guilty. And we all know it.
This is a picture of the knife that Sabrina used to murder Lisa. Last time I saw a picture of this was at the court hearing. Still had Lisa's blood on it. And this is a serrated knife, and this just shows how horrible the murder was. You have to put a lot of force behind using something like this. She stabbed so many times and so hard with it that it left a permanent bend in the knife from stabbing so hard. That's just, I can't fathom how anybody would stab once or cut even once or twice with a knife like this. It's totally unreal and incomprehensible. I just don't know why it could have gotten to that point where he felt he needed to help facilitate taking Lisa's life. I never saw any problems between him and it was just hard for me to believe that he would actually do something like that. He needed Sabrina to do this, and his way to get her to agree with it was to paint a pretty picture about we can live happily ever after. If we get Lisa out of the picture, if we do this, we're gonna get all this money. Told her how much money it was gonna be, and then we can have our own little family. And she believed that at the time and decided to go along with it. I don't think there was any intention that he was gonna follow through on all that. It was just soulless for him to plan that and to come up with this kind of idea of something to do, thinking that was the only way out of it. This is the picture of me that reminds me that I testified against my brother. It's a picture of me that reminds me that I helped get him put away for life. I know I did the right thing, but I can't get over the feeling like that I betrayed him.
What we believe from conversations, both with your attorneys and also from our review of the case, is that what led up to this homicide, to this murder, is that there was another party involved in planning that.
Yes. It was Kevin Knaefel, my foster father.
So what made you decide to tell us about Kevin?
Because for some reason, I'm religious and the truth prevails. And for me to go down for this when I wasn't the only one involved, it didn't seem right. And when you start thinking with your head and not your heart, you realize if somebody loved you, they wouldn't let you go down like that. I was completely manipulated.
Wow. I do believe that Kevin manipulated Bree into killing my mom. But she was dumb enough to fall for it.
Do you believe she's remorseful?
No. I do not believe she's remorseful. It's just an act. No. It's all fake. She decided to speak at Kevin's trial because they told her if she spoke and told the truth, she would get a lighter sentence. Coming forward and telling everyone what Kevin manipulated her into doing. I give her a lot of credit for that. I do. But at the end of the day, she was the one that killed my mom.
It was Kevin's idea, and it was talked about after we were having sexual relations, and him and Lisa were having problems in marriage.
When does he start talking to you about divorce?
It was 3 months before, after he brought up, well, look, I'm gonna kill myself if she doesn't leave because I can't deal with this anymore. When he said that, it kind of triggered me. I was like, no, I don't want that to happen. And so I was like, okay, I'll do it.
In a way, you start feeling bad that she got manipulated into this and taken advantage of for something like this. Never heard these clips before with Sabrina telling her side. This is the first time that I ever heard he said it was either Lisa or he was gonna take his own life. And then knowing 2 weeks before that happened, me and my family were with him. When we were out there and all the time he talked with me, he didn't say anything because he probably knew I would have stopped him then if something like that was said, but maybe I could have helped point him in a different direction with something, and none of this could have happened. This is a picture of Sabrina. It's the girl that I knew. It's the girl that I let hang out with my children. And it's just seeing this is just hard to believe that she could have done something so horrible and murdering Lisa. I don't know. I just can't. I can't look at this picture. It bothers me too much. I'm sorry. I can't. And at the same time, too, I'm upset that Sabrina had to deal with all this. She had a rough life, what it was. Yes, what she did is not right. I don't condone it in the least bit. I'm not saying she was right in any measure. What she did was horrible and what it was heinous, but I feel bad for her because she got caught up in this. And no kid should have to go through that. And she's paying a consequence for that because she made the wrong decision from what Kevin had dragged her through. So yes, she was wrong for what she did, but I still feel bad for her from it. And then you just feel bad for Megan, and you feel bad for their youngest daughter. And you feel horrible for Lisa having to go through that.
This is a photo of Kevin. As I can see, no emotion. Like usual. Nothing. I truly believe that Kevin thought he was gonna get away with this, yes. He thought he'd never get caught. I don't think Kevin should ever get out of prison, and he needs to spend the rest of his life in prison. He deserves it, and that's where he belongs. He left me and my sister with nothing. No mom, no money. He stole everything from us. He can rot in hell for all I care. Sabrina and Kevin are evil because they took away a mother. Someone who was making a difference in the world. Loved being with their kids, spending time with them. That will never be forgiven. My mental health really took a toll on this. I have flashbacks to that morning pretty frequently. To this day, I trust very little people because you never know what someone is capable of. My life today has its ups and downs. For a while, I struggled with my mental health, anxiety, depression, stuff like that. And I still deal with it, but it's not as bad as it once was. I wish I could have saved my mom and done more.